Hello everyone and welcome to En Familia con la Plaza. My name is Armando Rodriguez, manager of the Culinary Arts Program at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. Thank you for joining us. Today, La Plaza celebrates Cinco de Mayo. It's a special date that commemorates La Batalla de Puebla, the Battle of Puebla, in which Mexican troops defeated an invading French army in 1862. For today's Culinary Arts Workshop, we'll celebrate by exploring a variety of spices used in Mexican cooking. We'll use our five senses to specifically focus on three spices: coriander, thyme, and cinnamon, which are commonly used in Mexican cuisine, as well as in the elegant recipe known as mole, a regional dish from the Mexican state of Puebla. So let's explore how these spices create amazing flavors and aromas when they are combined and used in mole, as well as other Mexican dishes. So gather all of your spices and get ready to explore an array of flavors and aromas in today's Culinary Arts Virtual Workshop. Here are the spices you will need for today's sensory exploration. Now, please note a lot of these spices may be new to you, so please be mindful of allergies when exploring new foods, okay? All right, you are going to need three main spices for a sensory exploration, okay? Here I have coriander, okay? Dry coriander, which are dry cilantro leaves or seeds. Okay, you can also find coriander in its leaf form. Coriander crushed seed can be used as a substitute, and if you cannot find dry coriander, I would recommend exploring fresh cilantro. Okay, so these two are the same. These are the seeds. This here cilantro is the fresh cilantro in English is coriander. You can also find dried cilantro leaves at your local supermarket, okay? We're also going to be exploring thyme, okay? You can try exploring both fresh and dry. We can certainly compare and contrast them in our exploration, okay? And one of my favorites, cinnamon, okay? You can use ground cinnamon, which is right here, or you can use cinnamon in a stick form, okay? So if you have both, you can use both, or if you have one or the other, that is perfectly fine, okay? All right, excellent. All right, now I'm gonna share with you real quick some additional spices that you can also explore, okay? There we go. So here is a list of additional mole spices and ingredients to further explore after we explore our three main ingredients, okay? You can definitely explore cloves in the non-grounded form, okay? Cumin, which is very strong, okay? Here's cumin. Peppercorn, anise seed, and this one's very interesting. This one has a very strong aroma, so I recommend checking out anise seed. And allspice, right over here. And of course, you can also explore Mexican chocolate or cocoa or cacao. Now, this ingredient is fun to explore. If you use real cacao or rich Mexican chocolate, you will definitely taste some interesting flavors, okay? Now, what's the difference between cacao and cocoa? Now, cacao is when it's processed before And then cocoa is where you add more of the sugars after. Remember, if you can't find the two, a regular piece of chocolate will also work. However, regular Hershey bar chocolate is not used in mole. That is just an example for today's sensory workshop to compare and contrast a very strong bitter chocolate, cacao, with a very sweet milk chocolate. Okay? All right, so there you have it. Now that we have our spices, our kitchen utensils and ingredients, let's go over a very important question that connects us with today's virtual workshop. Okay? All right. Miss Mireya, I'm going to share with everyone my wonderful PowerPoint. If you can please tell me, can you see the PowerPoint? Excellent. All right. So today's workshop is Spices en la Cocina Mexicana. It's a sensory exploration workshop. All right. And here is our wonderful essential questions for the day. Okay. Essential questions. During our workshop, I want you to think about these two questions, okay? Number one, explain how spices produce powerful aromas and flavors in cooking. Do you think it has something to do with heat or changes in temperature when spices are cooking? And what are some traditional spices in your family's cooking? Describe how those spices connect with your family, traditions, and personal recipes. Okay? So I'll give you a few minutes to think, ponder, and write your answers on a sheet of paper. And for all the artists who are joining us today, feel free to draw or sketch your ideas on your paper. In the meantime, I'm going to cue my next slide. All right, beautiful. Now, I mentioned earlier that a few of the spices that we'll be exploring today are commonly used in Mexican cooking. In addition, a lot of those spices are used to prepare an elegant dish known as mole, which has an ancient connection to Aztec cooking and culture. Now, mole is a very complicated dish to prepare. Honestly, it's not an easy recipe if you are preparing the rich sauce-based dish from scratch. As a matter of fact, it can take several days to prepare. However, the end results provide legendary aromas and amazing flavors when the sauce is served over chicken or turkey and or paired with rice and warm tortillas. Now, historically, mole is a pre-colonial dish that has origins in the Aztec Empire. It was known as muli, which is the Nahuatl word for sauce. It included several important ingredients used in Aztec cooking, such as cacao, indigenous spices, and roasted nuts. Now, mole, very interesting enough, was prepared by the Aztecs for important rituals and celebrations. Therefore, it required a vast amount of time and preparation in order for it to be special. Now, as Mexico changed from the result of European colonization, so did many ancient Aztec recipes. Many of those ancient recipes were modified to include new ingredients as well as new spices from around the world. Now, these new additions would eventually go on to modify the flavors in mole and take it to other regions in Mexico, specifically to regions such as Puebla, Oaxaca, and Veracruz. Now, today, mole is still prepared for important holidays or celebrations. It also continues to use some of those ancient ingredients as well as new spices from around the world. And furthermore, new variations of mole have been created throughout time. For example, pipián, which is a mole verde, a green sauce, and mole rojo, which uses guajillo chiles, or the mole negro, which uses a variety of spices, chiles, and fruits to bring out intense flavors. Almost all of the moles mentioned include up to 20 plus ingredients, which require a meticulous amount of time in order for the flavors and aromas to come out. Once the mole sauce is served over chicken or turkey, it is bound to be an unforgettable celebration of Mexico's finest cuisine. Now, I have a question. Have you ever tried mole? And what flavors or aromas did you get from this amazing dish? Now, if you haven't tried mole, what flavors or aromas do you think you'll experience? Okay, so share your thoughts with those around you, or you can share your thoughts in the comments, or you can share your thoughts on social media using the hashtag #LaPlazaLA. Okay. All right, excellent, great. Now let's explore some spices used in Mexican cooking. Everyone will need to wash their hands before handling today's ingredients, so please practice kitchen safety at all times, okay? Now, remember, today we are not preparing a dish. Instead, we are exploring ingredients, so we are not going to be preparing a meal. For this activity, however, you will need the sensory exploration graphic organizer, which I have right here, okay? And you can find this graphic organizer on our education page at www.lapca.org under the education section, okay? Now, if you don't have the graphic organizer, not a problem. You can write down your discoveries on a regular sheet of paper, okay? All right, excellent, cool. All right, here we go. All right, now, for those who are following along, here is your first step, okay? Place 3 medium bowls in front of you, okay? So 1, 2, 3. And in one bowl, add the dry coriander or crushed coriander or a few sprigs of cilantro. Now, if you are using the fresh herb, yeah, go ahead and use that one, perfectly fine, all right? And in the second bowl, add the fresh or dried thyme. And in the third bowl, carefully, very carefully, add the ground cinnamon or a few cinnamon sticks. And make sure to have a few paper towels next to you in case there are minor spills, okay? All right, now we'll begin our sensory exploration with coriander, okay? All right, now, if you are going to be using the dry coriander, go ahead. Today, I'm going to be using the cilantro, okay? All right. All right, now, we are going to begin with the first one, touch, okay? So go ahead and touch the coriander or the cilantro, okay? And what does it feel like? Now, this is a great exploration for those who are using dry coriander or fresh cilantro, okay? What descriptive words come to mind as you are feeling this ingredient? Is it bumpy, rough, spiky, smooth? Okay. On your graphic organizer, go ahead and write down a few words in the box next to coriander under the touch column, okay? So here's a graphic organizer right there. There is coriander, cilantro, and at the very top, we have touch, we have see, we have taste, we have smell, and we have hear, okay? There you go. And I'm gonna show you right here as well. There you go. Cilantro, tomillo, canela. We're gonna be touching, seeing, tasting, smelling, and hearing. En español, tacto, vista, gusto, olfato, y vamos a escuchar. Cilantro, tomillo, y canela. All right. Very interesting, right? This one right here feels very smooth. So cilantro has a very smooth stem, okay? All right, excellent, cool. All right, now, next, take a close look at your ingredient. What does it look like? What do you notice about the size, shape, and color? Okay, So again, I am looking at cilantro, and it has a beautiful color and a very interesting shape. So let's use descriptive adjectives that would describe the appearance of the ingredient. So go ahead and write down one word or two words in your box under looking. Okay, we are observing, we're looking. Okay, all right, one or two words. Okay, excellent. All right, now taste the ingredient. Go ahead and taste just a little bit, a nice little sample. Okay, I'm going to take the cilantro. So let's go ahead and taste. Can you describe the flavors you are experiencing? Does it have a sweet taste, a sour taste, or a bland taste? What adjectives would you use to describe the flavors to someone else? So for example, I'm going to be tasting cilantro, and I'm going to take one and just taste it. It has a very strong flavor. It's very intense, but it does have that leafy flavor. So I think I'm going to use the word leafy. Strong is another good word too. Strong. Okay. Interesting, right? Some people like cilantro and some people do not. Some people have this soapy taste after tasting cilantro. So cilantro is either I love it or I hate it herb. All right, now let's move on to our next one. Okay, now let's smell the ingredient. Okay, so go ahead and take your ingredient. And does the ingredient have a pleasant aroma or a bad aroma? And is the aroma strong or light when you smell it? And does the aroma remind you of a person or perhaps a special moment in time? Or maybe the aroma reminds you of a special recipe that you enjoy preparing or eating. Okay? So use this space on your paper to write down anything that comes to mind. And whenever I smell cilantro, it always reminds me of street tacos and hanging out with my brothers and enjoying unos taquitos on the weekend. So yes, this brings back memories of street tacos and hanging out with my brothers. Okay. All right, cool. So go ahead and write down some words, some descriptive words on your graphic organizer. Cool. All right, last but not least, we're gonna listen to our ingredients, okay? You may think that I'm weird for asking, but what sounds do you hear if you crush or pinch or squeeze your ingredient? And do you think food can make a sound? So what words would you use to describe those sounds? Crunchy, snap, swoosh. How would you describe the sounds you hear when you prepare or taste food? Okay, so go ahead and take your ingredients and listen to it. Yeah, and squeeze it, gently squeeze it. And what sounds do you hear? Maybe you can hear something. Okay, great. So go ahead and write down a descriptive word in the box. Okay. All right, excellent, great. Now, let's go ahead and move on to our next ingredient, and we are going to move on to thyme. Okay, so go ahead and we'll repeat the same steps we use to explore coriander and continue to use adjectives to describe the spice. However, for this next step, I'm going to ask Miss Mireya to help me explore thyme using our five senses. Okay, so please follow our lead. All right, so I have Miss Mireya here with us from the Edible Teaching Garden. And today, Miss Mireya and I are going to be exploring thyme. Okay, so here we have thyme. Okay, as you can see. Excellent. Lift it up a little, Miss Mireya. And let's work together, okay? Let's go ahead and touch it. So go ahead and touch the thyme. And what descriptive word would you use to describe thyme? What word would you use?
I always think of soil. It feels like sand, sandy.
Right, sandy. That's a good word, sandy. As I pick it up, it's a little spiky. So I would definitely use that word spiky. Excellent. All right, thank you, Miss Mireya. All right, next one. Let's look at it. So we're using our observation and look at it closely. What color do you see?
And it's green. definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Army green.
The army green, yeah, it sort of has that dark greenish color, right? I'm also noticing that it is, kind of dry, brown. I'm also noticing brown colors as well. Excellent, cool. All right, now you don't have to, but taste it. And what do you taste? Let's go ahead and taste it. Ooh. Spicy, very spicy. It's very intense too. As soon as you are tasting it, the flavors are just bursting, but it's really strong. So if you are tasting time, be very careful with it. Be warned, okay? Okay, now let's go ahead and smell it. And be very careful. Don't bring it so close to your nose where it can just go into your nostrils, but just kind of take a small whiff, or with your fingers, kind of pinch it and crush it, and then smell it. Okay. What do you think? Are they strong? Are they pleasant aromas? What do you think?
It's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Very nice aroma. Kind of opens up your airways too.
Absolutely, yeah. So strong is another good word. And some people, of course, might not like it. This might be something new. So be very careful with it, okay? All right, last but not least, again, you may think that I'm weird, but Miss Mireya, let's go ahead and listen to it and crunch it. What sounds are you getting? Yeah, interesting. Crunchy, yes. So crunchy is a good sound that associates with this one here. Awesome, cool, Miss Mireya. Thank you so much for participating. I want to thank Miss Mireya for exploring this very interesting ingredient. I had a wonderful time. You get it? Time. Waka waka. Working with you on this project. Cool. Thank you so much, Miss Mireya. Awesome. All right. Well, now we are going to give you the opportunity to work on the last ingredients by yourself. Okay. And we'll guide you and give you some time to find the right adjectives that connects with your sensory experience, okay? And remember, there is no right or wrong answer to this assignment, okay? There's no right or wrong answer to this assignment. So let's go ahead and share my screen. And Miss Mireya, let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes. All
right, thank you, Miss Mireya. And our last ingredient that I want you to explore is cinnamon. So we have cinnamon here, cinnamon stick, and cinnamon which is rounded up. Okay. All right. So here we go. Ready and go. So go ahead and touch it. Okay. And write down a word to describe how it feels. Okay. Take a look at it carefully. Okay. And what colors or shapes are you looking at? Okay. There we go. And taste it. Go ahead and taste it carefully. Okay. That ground cinnamon, I'm just going to warn you, it's not super sweet, so I don't expect a sweet flavor right away. Just a little bit, okay? Now smell it. Now, please be very careful when smelling the cinnamon. Just, if you want, take your finger and rub it in between your fingers and carefully smell. You don't want that fine powder to get into your nostrils, so be very careful when smelling. But I can tell you that the stick will smell very nice and pleasant, okay? All right, and last but not least, let's go ahead and listen to our ingredients. If you are using the cinnamon stick, you'll be able to hear more. There you go. Maybe you can hear that. But be very careful with the cinnamon that's grounded. And you might not pick up a lot of sound, but yeah, it's simple. All right, well done. Whoa, great work exploring. All right, we have to review. Okay, so there is our sensory exploration activity handout. Again, remember coriander, thyme, and cinnamon. Touch, see, taste, smell, and hear. And this is available on our website, so you can download and try it again in the future, okay? All right, so let's review, okay? Explain how spices produce powerful aromas and flavors in cooking. Do you think it has something to do with heat or temperature changes when they are cooking? The answer to that is yes. As a matter of fact, heat will change a lot of the spices and ingredients and will enhance. It will bring out stronger flavors, and it will bring out different elements from each spice and herb. For example, cilantro, if you cut it up, a lot of the essential oils will come out, and if you do warm it up, it becomes stronger. The aroma becomes much more stronger. If you boil the cinnamon stick, the ingredient from the cinnamon comes out and it becomes much more stronger. So if you've ever had cinnamon tea and you just add the hot water with cinnamon sticks and let it brew, the aromas and flavors become much more stronger. So yes, heat does have a lot to do with it. Even some temperature changes, such as bringing down the temperature, making it very cold, will also do the same thing. For example, if you drop mint into a jug of cold water, the mint will also extract some of the oils and make that water minty. Okay. All right. So, what are some traditional spices used in your family's cooking? All right. So, describe how those spices connect with your family, traditions, and personal recipes. In my family, we use a lot of pepper to bring out and enhance flavors. So pepper has been a really strong spice in my family. And then for sweetness, we use a lot of cinnamon as well, especially in coffees, hot chocolates, and desserts as well. Okay. Now, after exploring coriander, thyme, and cinnamon, all right, we do invite you to explore other spices used in Mexican cooking. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, okay? And I'll come back to that. Oops. All right. We recommend exploring additional mole spices and ingredients such as cumin, peppercorn, anise seed, Mexican oregano, which is going to be a very interesting ingredient to explore. And I'm going to show that real quick, okay? We do have time to share that. I'll share my camera. There we go. And Miss Mireya, can you see that?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch. Thank you, Miss Mireya. Yep. And again, I'm going to bring out these spices right here. There we go. Additional mole spices that you can explore, okay? And these are just some, you know, there are more. Other people use additional spices, but these are just a few for today's workshop. Mexican oregano, allspice, cacao, Mexican chocolate. Yes, Mexican chocolate, which has a very strong flavor and a gritty texture, okay? Try exploring some of that. There it is. Okay. There we go. And again, you can use the same sensory exploration techniques we covered in today's workshop and create your own graphic organizer to present your findings to your friends, your families, and your teachers. And who knows, fingers crossed, you might even get extra credit for your explorations, okay? So good luck. I wish you the best on that. And don't forget, share your thoughts with those in our class or with us on social media using the hashtag LaPlazaLA. Okay? All right, so again, cloves, cumin, oregano, peppercorn, anise seed, and allspice. Okay? We've reached the end of our workshop. Stay connected. Don't forget to share pictures of your explorations and recipes using the hashtag LaPlazaLA. And join us next time for a wonderful garden virtual workshop where we explore cactus planting with Miss Mireya. On behalf of La Plaza and the Edible Teaching Garden and Culinary Arts Program, we want to thank you for joining us. Now, remember, eating healthy allows us to grow in mind, body, and soul. So live well and be happy. Until next time, this is Armando Rodriguez signing off. Hasta luego.